Act 5 of Alexander the Great by Jean Racine. Translated by Robert Bruce Boswell. This is the LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5, Scene 1. Alexander, Cleophylla.
What? Feared you Porus after his defeat, my victory imperfect in your eyes? No, no, my captive could not me escape. Trapped by my orders, taken in the toils, dread him no longer, rather pity him.
I fear him most when most he pity claims. Brave as he was, the fame he won in war troubled my mind far less than does his fall. While at his back a mighty army marched, their exploits and his own alarmed me not. But now, unfortunate, a king discrowned, henceforth he will be ranged among your friends.
No right has Porus now to such a place. For Alexander's hatred he has sought too far. He knows how loath I was to strike, but when I did, 'twas with as fierce a hate as he could wish. A warning shall he be to all the world. On him must I avenge the ills that war has wrought, to prevent which was in his power. 'Tis his own act that brings its punishment, twice conquered, and by you hated.
I cannot say I hate him, sire, and were I free to hearken to the voice of his misfortunes that appeal to me, I tell you he was greatest of our princes. His arm was long, the stay of all our states. He wished, perhaps, in marching against you, to show at least that he deserved to fall under no stroke but yours, that the same field might bring renown to both, and link his name with Alexander's. But such warm defence would wound my brother, and destroy his hopes. So long as Porus lives, what can he be? Ruin must needs be his, and mine as well, it may be. For his love, obtaining naught, will hold me guilty, fit for punishment. E'en now your heart is fluttering for new flights of conquest through the world. When I shall see the Ganges roll his flood 'tween you and him, who will restrain my brother's unjust wrath, my lonely soul will languish, far from you. Alas! Should he condemn my sighs to cease, what would become of this poor heart of mine, the conqueror to whom I gave it, gone?
Madam, enough. If you have given your heart, 'tis mine. Command your brother as he will, to guard more safely than those vanquished lands, which I have kept only to offer you. One conquest more. Then, dearest, I return, thenceforth my sole ambition to be king over your soul, and yet myself obey, placing within your hands my destiny and all mankind's. Ready to bear my yoke, the Melian awaits me at the verge of ocean, where I need but show myself as conqueror of the world and of your heart, when the proud element—
What? War on war? Seek you for subjects e'en beyond the earth, and lands to their inhabitants unknown? Must they bear witness to your brilliant deeds? What foes do you expect 'neath skies so rude? They will oppose you with their desert wastes, sunless and solitary, where nature's self seems to expire. And there, perchance, may fate in ambush lie to seize you, venting thus the secret envy that has tried in vain to cloud your grand career, resolved at least that dumb forgetfulness shall dig your grave. Must you drag, then, the remnants of a host, that 20 times has perished, 20 times has been renewed? 100 battlefields have swallowed half the troops you lately led. Those that survive claim pity, and their groans—
I have but to prepare them for their march, and they will follow me with hearts revived, howe'er they murmur in an idle camp, and count their wounds. Soon they will blame themselves, and beg me to expose them to fresh blows. Let me meanwhile support your brother's suit. His rival can no longer cross his love. Have I not spoken? And again I say,
Here comes the queen, my lord.
Scene 2. Alexander, Axiana, Cleopatra.
Well, Porus lives. Madam, it seems that heaven has heard your prayers, and given him back to you.
Nay, rather say takes him for ever from me. Nor can hope allay my present pain. His death before was doubtful, now 'tis sure. He dares the worst to see me once again, or give me help, helpless himself, alone against a host. In vain his gallant efforts caused alarm at first. In vain a few brave warriors, nerved by his bold courage, scared the victor's camp. He must succumb, and, valiant to the last, fall on the heaps of slain that bar his way. Oh, could I only, making my escape, show myself there, and die before his eyes! But Achilles, the traitor, holds me fast, and goes himself meanwhile to feast his eyes upon his rival's blood, and see him lie low in the arms of death, if so he dare to meet him.
Madam, by my care his life is saved, and soon shall his return content your heart's desire. You shall see him.
What? Can your care reach to him? And shall the arm that crushed him be his stay, the conqueror's hand give safety? Yet what wonder is too great, issuing from such a source? I call to mind how that you said you hold the vanquished foe a foe no longer, and that Porus was never your foe at all, that glory armed yourself and him alike, him prompt to try his courage against yours, you to attack, but not destroy.
The scorn that braved my wrath doubtless deserves a conqueror more severe. His pride in falling seems to gather strength, but I have ceased to be his enemy, and cast off hatred when I drop that name. Of his reward shall Taxiles be judge, to ruin or to spare as seems him best. In short, it is to him you must appeal.
What? Go and beg for mercy at his feet? Sent to make proof how kind is Taxiles. If Porus must solicit such support, surely your hatred has decreed his death. 'Twas his destruction after all you sought. How easily a generous soul is duped! Too credulous and ready to forget virtues in you I praised which were not yours. Arm yourself then, my lord, with cruelty, as a mere butcher end your grand career, and, having raised so many fallen foes, destroy the one whom most you sought to spare.
Strange love for Porus yours, that will not stoop to save his life, but scorns my proffered boon, and brands me as a jealous hypocrite. Well, if he dies, accuse yourself alone. I see him coming, and shall learn his will. His judgment Porus shall himself pronounce.
Scene 3. Porus, Alexander, Axiana, Cleopatra, Hephaestion, Alexander's guards.
Well, Porus, so your pride has borne its fruit. Where is the fair success that lured you on? Your soaring spirit is at last cast down. Offended majesty a victim claims. Nothing can save you. Yet will I once more offer a pardon many times refused. This queen rebels against my clemency, thinks constancy more precious than your life, would have you die without a moment's doubt, so long as to the tomb you bear the name of her true lover. Pay not such a price for boast so vain. Live, and let Taxiles be happy.
Taxiles,
Yes,
I approve your care so well bestowed. What has he done for you deserves no less. 'Twas he that snatched victory from me, gave you his sister, sold his honour, me betrayed. What can you do one service out of all to recompense? But I already have forestalled your care. Go, see him die upon the battlefield.
Taxiles.
What is this?
Yes, sire, he's dead, having himself tempted the stroke of fate. Porus, though vanquished, still surrenders scorned, and seemed attacker rather than attacked. His soldiers, fallen, wounded to the death, sheltered him with their bodies where they lay, and there, as if within a fort enclosed, 'gainst our whole host, he bravely stood at bay, and with an arm that fear and slaughter dealt, our boldest warriors foiling, held his post. I meant to spare him. His fast failing strength would soon have placed his life within my power, when to fatal field rushed Taxiles. "Let be," he cried, "I claim this captive mine. Porus, your hour is come, and death is sure. Perish, or yield the queen to me." He spoke, and Porus, at that voice rekindling rage, lifted an arm wearied with many a blow, while with his eye he sought him proud and calm. "Is that the faithless Taxiles I hear? The traitor to his country?" he exclaimed. "To his mistress, and to me. Come, coward, come. Yes, Actaeon is yours, my prize I yield, but your stout arm must take my life as well. Approach." Thereat the infuriate rivals rushed to deadly conflict. We, as best we could, to their encounter all our force opposed. But Porus carves a passage through our ranks, meets Taxiles, and with a single thrust pierces his heart. Then, satisfied, his sword surrenders.
For my brother I must weep. On me, my lord, your arms with all their weight have fallen. Vainly sought he your support. Alas, your glory has but wrought his death. Can Alexander's friendship help him now? But will you see him to the grave descend, all unavenged, while his assassin boasts before his sister's eyes and yours, my lord?
Let Alexander to her tears attend. She has my sympathy, for with good cause she mourns a brother whom she strove in vain to save by making him a coward first. 'Twas not Porus who attacked, 'twas he, the traitor, that confronted his just wrath. Why in the battle's tumult did he mix? Came he to snatch him from the conqueror's grasp? Nay, but when all was lost to overwhelm a king who from his victors won respect. But why deprive you of a pretext, urged so plausibly? Her brother has been slain by Porus. 'Tis enough. With generous blood appease his ghost, and so avenge yourself. But I too share his crime. Yes, Porus, yes, my heart is yours, as Alexander knows. Your rival knew it to his cost. From you alone I kept it. The last joy I feel is to declare it to yourself.
'Tis time that Alexander should be satisfied. Fear Porus, who though vanquished yet could do as you have heard, who, by your troops hemmed in, revenge defeat, whose name can raise fresh foes and wake from sleep 100 fettered kings. Quench in my blood these dangerous sparks of war. Then go, and safely conquer all the earth that's left. But think not that a heart like mine can thank a conqueror, and forego its rights. Speak, and without expecting me to soil my honour, let us see how you can use your victory.
Is that proud spirit still unbroken, Porus? And will your last breath be spent in threatening words? Victory herself must fear such pride. Your name is still worth more than armies. I must take security. Tell me then how to treat you.
Like a king.
Well, like a king's, then, shall your treatment be. I will not leave my victory incomplete. 'Tis your own wish, nor will you raise complaint. Porus, reign on, I give you back your crown, and with my friendship Axiana take. To welcome bonds I thus condemn you both. Live both and reign, alone of many kings, far as the Ganges banks your rule extend.
To Cleophila.
Such treatment, madam, may surprise you, but 'tis thus that Alexander wreaks revenge. I love you, and my heart, touched by your sighs, with your displeasure would not weigh the lives of thousands. But a gallant warrior's death, disarmed and captive, would yourself offend. Porus would triumph in a bold contempt for all my harshness, and to the grave descend victorious. Let me end as I began, and bring you generosity unstained as my best gift. Let Porus take his crown restored by me, and you yourself shall reign o'er all the world besides. Grace well the throne with goodness as with beauty. Make your sway noble as well as brilliant from the first, and let a sister's anger be forgot.
Yes, madam, reign, and suffer me to esteem the greatness of the hero who has given his heart to you. Love him, and see the world adore him. Prize so sweet a privilege.
Sire, until now, the dread of all mankind forced me to admire the fortune of your arms. But mid the widespread terror I could see in you no virtues that surpassed my own. I bow submissive now, and own myself vanquished by one whose magnanimity equals his valor. Go, subdue the world to your obedience. It shall see me lend support to all your exploits. I am yours, and will do all I can to give to it so great a master.
What can heart so sad as mine say to my lord? Shall I repine because to Porus Alexander deigns both life and sceptre to restore? He knows what best becomes his glory. Press me not for further speech. In silence let me weep.
Yes, madam, I too mourn a faithful friend, and fervent sorrow finds relief in sighs. A splendid tomb shall tell a future age of my remembrance and of your regret.
End of Act 5. End of Alexander the Great by Jean Racine. Translated by Robert Bruce Boswell.